Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for KREM2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. It is an emotional day for dozens of veterans here in our area. After being grounded for 2 years because of COVID, INW Honor Flight has taken off once again. The group takes local veterans to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials built in their honor. Laura Papetti flew with those veterans today as they ventured across the country to our nation's capital.
It was a great morning here at Spokane International Airport as 100 veterans, well-deserving men and women, are getting to go to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials built in their honor. The group will be traveling, no charge to the veterans, on INW Honor Flight. For the next 36 hours, they'll see memorials, travel around Washington, D.C., have a banquet over there in their honor, and then they'll fly home. So it's a very quick trip. It's an emotional trip. And after being grounded for 2 years due to COVID, it's a very exciting trip, both for the veterans and for the volunteers. Should mention, more than a dozen veterans that were on the list were not able to make it. And that is because for health reasons, they've passed away. So this 2 years really cost many veterans the opportunity to come and make this trip and see what it's all about. And so it's really imperative to INW Honor Flight that they continue these trips to get these 600 veterans on the waiting list to Washington, D.C. to see those memorials. So if you would like to support the veterans, a couple of different ways. You can come here to Spokane International Airport tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:30. Welcome home the group. For many of them, it will be the first welcome home that they've had. Many Vietnam veterans tell us they weren't welcomed and they didn't feel like they got to come home to any sort of crowd or any sort of welcome back. So there's an opportunity to do that. You can also financially give. They can certainly use the support. You can check it out on KREM.com, or you can text the word honor to 509-448-2000. We'll send a link right to your phone. Laura Papetti reporting at Spokane International Airport, KREM2 News.
And this is a monumental trip for those veterans, and they're in good company. A World War II veteran, 5 Korean War veterans, and 94 Vietnam veterans all making the trip today. For many of them, this is the first time they have ever gotten to see those memorials that honor them. This morning, Laura spoke also with one of the only female vets on the flight.
Thrill time, thrill of my life, and I know we waited for 2 years, and I'm anxious to go.
Worth the wait? You're ready to roll? You're ready to see those memorials? Have you seen them before?
No, I haven't. I've only seen a couple of them, but that was back in 1960, so that's a long time ago.
Wow, all this money beside me.
They are bringing mementos to leave at the wall to remember someone who fought alongside them all those years ago. And again, there is an easy way for you to honor these vets right here at home. We would love to encourage you to please come out to the airport tomorrow night at 7:30 to celebrate them and welcome them home in the way they deserve. And if you can't make it to the airport tomorrow, you can still send them messages of support. So you can send in your veteran shout outs right now. Send a picture or a message or both. Text them to us at 509-448-2000. And from all of us here at KREM2, we say thank you to each and every veteran who has served our country. All right, let's turn now to take a look outside. All great things must come to an end, right? The clouds moving back in after a very sunny, mild weekend. We're turning things over to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo outside, but still, all in all, Jeremy, really mild, really nice today.
Absolutely beautiful. And believe it or not, Whitney, today, about where we should be in terms of temperatures.
That's not too bad.
Right. That's the way I'm looking at it. And as we head through the next few days, you can see we've got a little bit of wind kind of playing with my hair here outside. 62 degrees, it says mostly cloudy, but it's kind of filtered sun with some high atmospheric clouds out ahead of an actual push of clouds and moisture. Moses Lake, sunny, 64 and sunny in Coeur d'Alene, and 63 in Sandpoint. Wenatchee at 63 as well. It's a beautiful day despite a little bit of that cloud cover and a little bit of light wind. But look down to the south, already starting to see some of that moisture filter in, and that's going to bring us a round of kind of scattered showers later on this evening. We'll see those move in. I think about the 8 o'clock hours when it'll be pretty widespread for most of us. Continues to spread in overnight. Does look like we get some heavier moisture out of this little pattern change as we get into the evening. Tomorrow morning, rain's coming down, should clear out pretty early in the day, but just expect some more scattered showers as we head through the day Tuesday. So yes, it does come to an end, and yes, that means cooler temps. We're in the 40s to start the day tomorrow, and by the afternoon, we are back up in the 50s, so it is a drop, but still mild nonetheless.
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. Tonight, Spokane City Council is expected to discuss a resolution to create criteria for future low-barrier shelters. Council members held a study session on the proposal last week. The latest version of the shelter criteria is the result of that discussion. Now, most of the original version remains the same, except instead of limiting the number of shelter beds to 120 per site, the new version would limit it to 100 per acre. At the Trent Avenue shelter, for example, under this resolution, it would only be able to provide about 100 beds, even though the space can actually accommodate 250. The resolution's bed limitation does remain a concern, though, for Councilmember Michael Cathcart. He believes a larger shelter will serve the community's needs more immediately.
We have some guarantees from the administration that they've been pretty thoughtful in terms of a plan and how they would accommodate, potentially 250 people. And so I do not favor limiting it to 100. I think the space is a pretty large space. And in fact, it would probably be a very inefficient use of taxpayer resources to use this space for only 100 individuals.
Now, Councilmember Lori Kinnear is the co-sponsor of the resolution. She says it's not binding. In a statement today, though, she says the intent is not to limit the administration's selection of specific shelter sites. So coming up tonight at 5, we'll share more on how the mayor is now responding to that proposed resolution. And also on Council's agenda today, funding for a new Spokane's Police SWAT Mobile Command Center. Right now, SPD is using an RV. Right there, you can see it in the background. That's where they stage during hostage negotiations or other dangerous situations. Police say they're getting called out to those types of events more and more now, so a new command center is necessary to keep officers safe and organized. Now, if the funding is approved, it'll cost the city about $450,000. Police have arrested a suspect in the fatal shooting at a Spokane Valley apartment building. 29-year-old Shane Galloway was arrested by Spokane Valley Police with the assistance of U.S. Marshals. He's accused of shooting and killing 34-year-old Joseph Quinn in February. Galloway has been charged now with first-degree murder. His bond is set at $1 million. Trial started today for the man accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend while she was driving. 55-year-old Victor Claus of Bonners Ferry is charged with first-degree murder in the death of 45-year-old Melissa Sklow. He pleaded not guilty last June. Right now, he is still in jail, also on $1 million bond. The Bonner County Sheriff's Office says it's going to be featured in an episode of Forensic Files. They recently posted photos to their Facebook over the weekend, and while there's no air date yet, the Sheriff's Office hinted that the episode will focus on a murder that happened in 2017. All right, still to come here on KREM2 News at 4. This weekend, a Gonzaga baseball coach passed away after a hard battle with cancer. Today, his team talking about the impact he had.